Holy Heidelberg, what'd you do that for?
I'm afraid we've been drugged, Robin.
I guess you could never trust a woman.
You've made a hasty generalization, Robin. It's a bad habit to get into. But in this situation, it's entirely apropos.
In this clip, we see Robin assume that all women are bad based on the actions of one woman. Just because this one woman has done something bad does not mean that all women are bad. This is an example of hasty generalization.
Talking about how to retain skilled labor. Why isn't the infrastructure minister talking about how to implement infrastructure funds and get construction workers back to work in Alberta? Why does this government treat Alberta like a fart in the room that nobody wants to talk about or acknowledge? That is where my constituents have been at with this government for over a year. And you know what? We're tired of it. We watched what happened. I watched what happened in Brexit. Oh, and by the way, constituents, as I'm giving this speech, there's Liberal members across the aisle that are laughing at me. Yeah. And they're laughing at you. Yeah. I watched what happened in Brexit. And
Point of order, the honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Interrupt my friend in her speech, but I heard her say a word that I know is distinctly unparliamentary, and I think she may want to withdraw it. The word was F-A-R-T.
The honourable member for Calgary Signal Hill.
Are you serious, Mr. Speaker? Like, is my colleague actually serious? I just gave an impassioned speech about supporting Alberta jobs, and that's what the leader of a political party stands up and has to say? No, I don't withdraw it.
The honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
I have a lot to say about the content of my friend's speech. I am deeply concerned, as are all people in this place, for Canadians who are hurting from economic downturn. I would like to speak to that, but the first important, excuse me.
Did the honourable member for Calgary Signal Hill want to respond to that?
It's Calgary Nose Hill, but close enough.
Sorry.
Mr. Speaker, the leader of the Green Party has been probably one of the most vocal opponents of every part of the Alberta economy for the last 10 years, so I will take no lessons from her on this.
I believe we're getting into debate, but I'll go to the honourable member for the Saanich Gulf Islands.
And I feel it's important to make something of the member's choice of words is that she then accused people opposite her for reacting. And in that context, decorum is important and respect is important in this place. I remind those who are now heckling me that you are breaking the rules of this place when you do so. I have never heckled in this place, not once. And I've never used language that was unparliamentary, not once. And I recognize my friend's passion, but I do not forgive, nor do I accept.
We looked up on page 619 of the O'Brien and Bosch. I shall read what's in here. In dealing with unparliamentary language, the Speaker takes into account the tone, manner, and intention of the member speaking, the person whom the words at issue were directed, and it goes on. What I'm going to say is that sometimes in this chamber, passion takes over and it gets kind of heated, and sometimes we say things out of order or things that may not be parliamentary. The honourable member said a couple of things that were bordering, but it's up to her to decide whether they were unparliamentary. Someone took offence. I will take it under advisement, bring it back to the table, and we'll go from there.
This is a great example of straw man. Part of her argument was taken out of context and used against her. In this video, we see that she is a politician giving a speech to Parliament about Canadian workers. She uses a simile referring to them as a fart in a room. A member of Parliament then uses this against her, saying the term is unparliamentary and should be withdrawn. When the politician refuses, the member of Parliament calls it something of disrespect.
Business. All finished. Here's your new number.
646? What is this?
That's your new area code.
I thought 646 was just for new numbers.
This is a new number.
No. It's not a new number. It's just a changed number. See, it's not different. It's the same, just changed.
Look, I work for the phone company. I've had a lot of experience with semantics, so don't try to lure me into some maze of circular logic.
You know, I could have killed you and no one would have known.
I could have killed you and no one would have known.
This is a good example of circular reasoning because we see that the conclusion is the same as the reasonings. Therefore, if A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. Doman states that the number is not a new number, but rather a changed number, because it's the same number, but changed. This is a good example of circular reasoning.
And welcome back to Hannity. As one of my next guests points out in her latest column, there is a glaring double standard when it comes to how the mainstream media responds when provocative language is used to attack women. Now, when liberal women are targeted, the press is quick to rally to their defense, but when conservative women are subjected to vile attacks, well, it's a different story. So tonight, we thought we'd take a moment, remind you of some of the disgraceful rhetoric that the left has used when talking about women on the right side of the political spectrum, like this.
Like this right-wing slut, what's her name, Laura Ingraham? Yeah, she's a talk slut.
All thanks to the total, mindless, morally bankrupt, knee-jerk, fascistic hatred without which Michelle Malkin would just be a big mashed-up bag of meat with lipstick on it.
I think Sarah Palin proved herself to be, I think she's proven herself to be profoundly stupid.
This is a good example of circular reasoning because we see that the conclusion is the same as the reasonings. Therefore, if A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. Doman states that the number is not a new number, but rather a changed number, because it's the same number, but changed. This is a good example of circular reasoning.